Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Modern Human Podcast with your host, Wendy.
And Brenda. Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys. We are here officially with the painting behind us for this month. You know, I channel a painting every month to kind of hold the energies that are coming in or that Spirit really wants to share. And we kind of talked about this month's been a lot about power. It's a lot about awakening power, empowerment. And things that are either restricting our power or moving into more of a space of freedom and expression of our authentic selves.
So becoming more aware of who you really are, what is really working for you. I mean, moving into the first couple of months of the year was really about letting go of anything that didn't align with you, whether it was internally or externally, and some of us felt that in some really tumultuous ways, which is really important and really can be something honored. And so like moving into this new experience, you can, feel the beauty of this painting. And I do invite you to just kind of maybe hit pause or something so that you can visually experience it, if you have that opportunity, because it opens your heart and your power chakra and your sacral and your root, and just allows you to be fully present in the moment. I don't want to use any of those words, to be who you really are. I'm going to just leave it like that. That's what feels right. And we're not even really sure where to start with this one, because there's really like so much. Like those are like the simplest kind of ways of putting it. And just honoring that this state in our experience, in our reality, it is the equal day and equal night, which we know is so powerful. So no matter when you're listening to this, know that these energies are being shared with you, and that there's something about that perfect balance that is allowing this energy, this message to come through for the first time. Because we were actually scheduled to do a podcast last week and it didn't happen. And we of course surrender and trust that as well. So it was necessary that it came through at this energy, at this doorway on the planet.
And it is all about balance, right? And just really mastering the self, obviously with the chakras being shown. So really it's this self-mastery. It holds within it divine feminine energy, which no matter what your gender is in human form, it's about really creating this sanctuary or the sacred temple within. So knowing thyself. And so when you know thyself, you back it up with the divine masculine energy and you be that in the world. And so, but you have to know yourself first, right, before you act. Otherwise, if we're acting, it's a little bit more hollow and it has less power. So this painting really is all about balance, and it is a self-mastery. But if you want to hear all of the little intricacies and all the meanings of the symbols and such, I have a full video on the painting, so you can check that out separately. That's not the intention of this video today. We wanted
this podcast,
or this.
Yeah.
What did I
if
say?
you're just listening, if it's a video, you can watch it on video, or you can also just listen to us.
Right, and if you are just listening, you could definitely go to our website and see the painting there as well, or on Facebook and stuff. Because seeing it visually as more of a quantum painter, it does affect you in ways. It affects your subconscious. It affects you in ways on dimensions that our cognitive spaces can't necessarily comprehend. So definitely give it a glance.
Because we are limited in that, and I feel like this limited if we just listen, limited if we just use words or talk at you. It's not, none of us can be that way any longer. And that's like, to me, part of the message coming through for this month is like, you are all multidimensional beings, and owning that, taking responsibility for that. Yes, a part of that is being your authentic self, and just allowing yourself to experience more. Right? Not
Totally.
Think so much, not do so much in that doing busy space. The doing, I would want to shift to this being space, like allowing yourself to receive so that you can give intentionally in ways that are authentic for you, because how we give is going to create our future, and really create even not just our future, but our now and just what's arising. So I feel like that's like a really powerful piece of this.
Yeah, and just to expand on that more is, really balancing the ebb and the flow, like the flow, basically, really kind of tapping into your own unique rhythm and trusting that space. So hence the turtle and the hare down here. It's really, when we get out of balance, right, because of these energy shifts that are happening on the planet, they kind of get really announced. They get really pronounced.
It's really obvious.
Obvious, right?
You know?
It's almost like you can't really be out of balance anymore without it getting really uncomfortable very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're thinking too much, you might all of a sudden be getting headaches for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're doing, you might really starting to feel sick because you are overdoing. So you're feeling burnout like instantly.
Yeah.
Well, like the characteristics of burnout. So because of the energy shifts that are happening on the planet, so in some ways it's really heightening those are perceptions.
And again,
of those
and it's
imbalances.
designed and meant to help us even more, because we are at this great awakening. We have this opportunity. And even though your consciousness may be going, your higher self is like, hey, come on, we want this, we want this, we want this. And we're taking advantage of the opportunities of this energy, not to minimize or take away from the discomfort. And so it's like being gentle with yourself, slowing down. And I feel like that's the energy that you've pulled through, is this tortoise in the hare of like knowing when to rest, knowing when to move, when to just be slow and steady. Those are energies that are incredibly wise and masterful. So noticing that, like, you're going to have to show up for belief systems and thoughts and emotions that are blocked. Possibly. What else am I missing? Dis-ease in the physical body, like, right? Utilizing your vessel as the best friend of you that it is. You have so many best friends in this experience now. Like, it's seriously so cool. And so can you show up with curiosity and love and support for all of these nuances arising?
And I feel like if we can just kind of dive even a little bit deeper into the doing space, because that's really where I feel, and maybe this isn't for everybody, because maybe some people don't act at all, right? But I feel like in our culture and stuff, it's like overdoing. Like doing, we value the doing and not the being, right? So we're valuing the masculine energy.
The accomplishment and not necessarily the journey that it took to get there, kind of thing, right?
That, and just doing. Like, I feel like doing has more value. Like, that's partly why we have shame when we have a day off and we just want to sit around, or it's hard for us to be. Like, we wake up and we have a to-do list of things we have to do, right? The doing.
Without the showing up and being
Without
present
the
with
showing.
the emotions or the meditating of the being still part.
Right.
We must be still as much as we're active, right? That's the balance.
Right, of checking within and making sure that this is in alignment with you. The overdoing, where you're just doing and you don't even really want to be doing, but you're just doing for the sake of doing, probably as a form of avoidance. I don't know. I feel like when I'm overdoing or I'm just doing, I'm not thinking, and I just am kind of avoiding what might be showing up for myself. But what I want to kind of talk about or point out is, like, let's say out of these two animals, the tortoise or the hare would be the one that overdoes, right? Because it's the faster one, and it's the speedster, right? And it's just kind of like, go, 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 go. And he's like, oh, aren't I great? Whatever, that story. But what's so interesting to me about the rabbit or the hare is they also represent vulnerability, So it's kind of this paradox, because it's like, it's the vulnerable. So it's almost like, how they say, and I totally believe this, that the solution is in the problem, right? The solution is in the problem. Meaning, like, even with science or even medications, whatever, like, you can find the solution in the problem itself. I feel like this is one of those cases where it's like vulnerability is the key to slowing down, right? Mm-hmm. So the hare represents both, and I just think it's kind of neat, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're vulnerable, you're not really avoiding. You're really recognizing, hey, I don't really want to be moving, or I'm afraid that if I don't move, I might be doing something wrong, or I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. And that's really what this new frequency is all about, is the balance of both of those things, of knowing that whenever we have one thing, like the doing, we're going to then bring back to balance in the stillness. So more and more, we're going to see more of this everywhere with every little thing. In the same way that, like, to be emotional and honor the emotions, you need to show up in that space. And then the counterbalance of that is having, no emotions, or just surrendering and being still. Right? That whatever your unique balance to all of these parts, you're not going to be able to avoid that anymore. You're not going to be able to like push through and pretend like you're only one thing. You are all of these things. And to me, this painting highlights just the perfection of that, the glory of that. It's so like if you can't see this picture, please take time to find it, because it's just, you just are like, like, yes. And it like really has this energy, this message of like everything is working out perfectly, everything is okay if you can just let go of control, let go of expectations, surrender to all that is. Trusting the process, sure, but those are words to an energy and a way of being that I feel like you're highlighting with, just being in such a busy culture, a doing culture. If we're sitting here, we're going to be on our phones, and it's like, can we put our phones down or our computers down or our TVs down and stop watching shows and just spend like 3 minutes going, you know what, I'm going to wait until I start that show. I know that I've had a busy day and I'm looking forward to winding down, and just spending those 3 minutes going, you know what, I love you so much, self, you did such a great job today. We want to watch a show for 5 hours tonight, so be it. There's no judgment. And yet, just adding that little caveat of like, wait, be aware of your, I don't know, magnificence.
Essence.
Yeah, essence. I like that word. Essence. Feed that essence now. It's time.
Yeah. And really what they're saying to me right now is that we're the portal. Our being, yes. You're the portal, I'm the portal, she's right. The portal. We're all these portals, and what that really is a doorway into another level or way of existence, another dimension of our beings, and we're the portal of that. Smack you in the face.
Ooh, they're all falling down. Interesting.
They're talking.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Put that between us. So the paintings just fell for those that are listening only right now. So that was really interesting. It just fell on us.
Yeah.
So it's
and
like
it's
the
so
essence
weird.
Of the portal. Like, here you go.
And it's becoming very physical. I feel like in that way, it's becoming very physical. So they would say like the veil is very thin, so you can really kind of cross over into these other spaces a lot easier. And partly why we need to utilize the earth energy, because it's the earth itself that has mastered the portal itself. Like, it is the biggest portal of us all, is the earth. And it knows how to manage that kind of energy, and it knows how to manage and integrate, just the portal itself and how you take care of it. How do you manage, moving into a different kind of paradigm and different kinds of energies? How do you hold different kinds of energies that the biology might not be used to? The earth knows. The earth has been doing this for millennial. Like, it's always existed here, but we're just now experiencing it in a specific different way. Like, we're all meant to kind of experience it our own way, but it's here now. And there's keys here, obviously, in this painting of like how you can access these higher dimensions. When I mean higher, I mean less, like actually physically slower cellularly, because the more slow it is, the more dense something is. So less dense and just higher frequency. So more of our, what is it, arboreal or ethereal or whatever the words are, of those really higher aspects of our beings can interact. That's where we interact. So how do we bring that down to where we can actually consciously experience them in our brains, in our physical bodies, right? And there's a lot of clues here on how to do that, obviously with the chakras and such. Because as we open this portal, it's beautiful energy. It's, more heaven on earth kind of energy. It's compassionate energy. It's loving energy.
And it's not one thing, right? It is like everything that Wendy and I have been teaching since we got here. It's all of these parts of you, all of these nuances, and just bringing them into the wholeness of you. acknowledging them, becoming friends with them. I made a comment a moment ago about you have so many best friends here. And it's like, yes, becoming best friends with all of these things here. And then knowing that each and every doorway for all of us will be unique and special. None of us will, in fact, have the exact same doorway. None of us. They're all, and they will incorporate all of these parts together in unique and special ways. You cannot get it wrong as long as you're showing up and just remembering that almost like it doesn't have to be hard. Like that's the message of like this coming through now. Because I feel like we've been in this discomfort where we've been used to talking in criticism or judgment to validate ourselves, like we were just talking about, and just remembering that it doesn't have to be. And that's, I know what you mean with the heaven on earth comment, because it's like it doesn't have to be hard now. It really can be easy, not to invalidate that it's not feeling easy, if that's your experience right now. And yet it can be. You can shift into this, like again, if you visually can see this painting right now, that beauty, that joy, that perfection of just balance. That's what comes through for me like most. It's like, oh yeah, how about easy? How about light? How about effortless? How about those things? How about bringing relationships effortlessly to you that are healthy and abundant and loving? How about bringing abundance to you effortlessly? Success effortlessly, right? What else? Just peacefulness effortlessly. Joy and laughter effortlessly. That, like, feel that. Don't think about it. Feel it.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like that's been one of the hardest things for me personally, has been my physical body, which, your physical body holds all of your memories, right? But all of your past life memories too. And I feel like the hardest thing for me in integrating in this new energy has been letting peace be a natural state. Because I always am like, I find my body and even my mind trying to find a problem. And that's my own journey, but I'm used to the stress and I'm used to kind of fight, flight, or freeze because of old traumas and things and just it not being safe. And so, and so I've been really trying to integrate this, not just this idea, but this feeling, the idea as well, that peace is a natural state, or harmony. Harmony has been the bigger word for me, like a harmonious, like just balanced.
Almost like an integration, because harmony is like all things together. Definitely this painting,
to where, because I feel like that's in the habit of having a problem, for me has been an issue, integrating into more of this mastery of love and harmony or whatever.
Well, yeah, and I really want to validate that, because so much of this culture is about like problem solving, in that doing space. Like, so instead of feeling something, we want to problem solve out of it, and not knowing that that's so incredibly invalidating for ourselves if we're having a big feeling, or the other person, that you're just telling, well, if we say things like, well, it's going to be fine though, or you really wanted this job though, as somebody's processing, well, it's just so much work and I'm feeling overwhelmed. That's invalidating to make it into a resolution or a problem. It's like, no, truly, with so much love, you're missing the boat on that. It must be felt thoroughly. All the nuances of it. What does it remind you of? Why might this be arising for you? How do you feel? What do you think? How do you feel? What do you think? Over and over.
Right, instead of even getting curious about what somebody's going through. If somebody says, hey, I think I want to quit my job, we go into like trying to problem solve for them, or like why that would be good or a bad thing, instead of being like, oh, that's interesting. Why do you feel that way? Yeah. And really exploring that. We don't even do that for our friends or our family, rarely. Maybe if you do, awesome.
And let alone
great
for
job.
Ourselves, right? Really going, that's curious,
Like, why do you feel that way? What's going on? Before you're judging it, before you're moving into that's a good or bad thing.
Right. Do you have enough money? Like, notice the distortion in that. Like, we're immediately shifting out of it for many different reasons. None of them are bad. They're not even good. They just are. And could you imagine existing or functioning in a different way? Because that's, to me, what this new energy is. Can you let go of what you think you know and allow yourself to shift into this new way of being? And again, it's going to be gentle, and there's help, and, all of that.
And that's just one way, as we're shifting into this new paradigm, how it's coming up, or it could be how conflict could be arising for you, and partly how we move into this new reality. Noticing where you might be doing all of the things we were just talking about, where you're judging or criticizing or trying to problem solve, and moving back into this space of being. Like, she seems very peaceful and comfortable, and is not bothered, is just feeling the breeze. She's reading the wind.
Yeah.
So she's just very present in, like, hearing what the wind has to say, feeling what the wind has to say, listening to the tree, listening to the animals. Like, she's really present.
And what, in showing up, and what is the essence of you saying? Because that's truly what the metaphor of the wind is, right? The essence of self. What is your wind saying? What is it whispering? What is it implying even? Just the nuances of that, becoming the master of self to where you learn your language. It's different, it's unique, it's not logical. I know we love our thinking selves here. We really do, and they're great, and they're incredibly limiting. Moving beyond what you think you know into what you feel, what you can fantasize. That's the magic of you, using your imagination and your creativity to just play in the essence of you. I love this painting so much. I think it might be my favorite right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's honestly, I love it. I love it. And to be honest, those are the animals that have come to me the most in my life.
Oh, really?
The elephant and the crow, or the raven, both. And just this, I'm just yes.
Interesting. And it is all about essence. She's holding flowers. She's wearing a flower dress. Flowers represent essence, which is just so unique to you. So really letting you be your authentic self. Like, your authenticity is so important. And we don't mean that just in the, be you. We mean, every moment allowing yourself to have that freedom of expression. And you might even have your own triggers that are being triggered right now, saying, I can't be that. I'm at work, or I can't do that. I have this to do.
And allowing, we talk a lot about how we just show up for whatever comes up. That is this. That is, if we can go back to a month or so ago when, I got mad at the driver in front of me and I flipped her off, or whatever. I don't even know if I flipped her off for real, but I might have. And so, yes, that was my authentic expression, and just really showing up for that. That's what that meant. Really breaking that down and showing up for what's inside of me. How did I feel? What was my trigger? All of that's authentic. That is in harmony and balance. It's not that I'm perfect and that I don't have feelings of anger or shame or guilt. I do. And we are going to keep saying that as long as we need to here. Those parts are your authentic self. That is having power. Having power is not perfection. It is not always having the right thing to say. That is actually tends to be a mental health illness, if we're being totally transparent. That is not power. That is not authenticity. We are messy, beautiful beings, getting better every day, each and every one of us.
But also being part of a modern human, it is taking responsibility for all those parts too.
Yes.
Meaning, I am sad. Well, why am I sad? Responsibility, there's a lot to that word responsibility,
yes.
But we don't mean just doing that out of malice and just being destructive with whatever feelings we're having. We mean we're still taking responsibility for them, right? We're growing up. We're taking responsibility, right. And we're saying, hey, these parts exist within me. We're going to allow them because they matter. All of these parts equally matter, and let's create a sense of freedom in a safe space for all of these parts, so we can actually move beyond this reactionary way of living and move out and into thriving. And it's all of these things, but it's the freedom of these parts and authentically allowing them to have an expression, for sure.
Yeah. And a beautiful conversation of how we can make our life even easier, even more effortless. How can we make joy effortless? How can we make abundance more effortless? This is the conversation that we begin to have in this new frequency, in this new earth.
Right, now what? Now that we're no longer surviving and
Right.
we're healing all of these parts and we're loving them and we're consistently showing up, right? Now what? What do you want to create?
Right.
And this sense of peace and knowing is our birthright.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So just having that, just feel that. So having abundance, this is called the power or the promise of abundance. I mean, it really is it's that divine promise that all your needs are met and everything is possible. You know, they say we're entering into the age of miracles, and that really is what energy is about.
Yeah.
Is we're entering in the age of miracles. What does that mean to you? What would that look like to you?
How would you feel in that energy, knowing all your needs are met and everything is possible, and that you are free?
In every way.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Much bigger conversations to come for sure, and a good way to begin.
I think so.
So thank you so much for listening. We love hearing your comments, so please continue to let us know what you think, what your thoughts are, maybe where you might want us to go in the conversation.
And just share us your thoughts too. We want to hear what that's about too.
Yeah. Thank you for being you. I love you.
Until next time.